welcome Travis Rulle to the stage with FBC Mortgage. FBC is the sponsor of the keynote. Travis.
John, thank you very much, and it is incredible to see all of you here. We all have one thing in common, that is for sure, and that is change. We set our pipelines aside back home to show up here in Phoenix today to talk about the future. And won't take too much time here, but it excites me to see the today, and I know we'll see more tomorrow, the caliber of thinkers in this room. We're looking at new ways to do things, and that's exciting. And as a lender that specializes in serving you, the builder, and your customers, I can assure you that, like you in this room, we are, and I am, obsessed with building an experience for your customers, but also for you. Thinking of new ways to do things. Obsessed with a 10-day close. That's coming. And the old days of just a bunch of underwriters, a bunch of processors, maybe you get a decision in a few days, maybe you get a decision in a week, those days are coming to an end. And it's through technology. And so we're building a process. We have an incredible process today. We base everything we do on the relationship with you, the builder. But we have an incredible process for our customers. The future process that we're working on will not only, as we do today, meet your customers where they want to be met, but meet your customers in a way that maybe hasn't been done necessarily before. And so I know this because I oftentimes will look at what other competitors in our space are doing, and they market certain things, but what's behind it is still the old classic process. I saw a stat coming up the stairs that yesterday, or just today, our bodies make 330 million new sales a day. I thought that was interesting because we are agents of change, and we're in an industry that has been plagued with old thinking, but not this group, and that's been exciting today. And so I want to say thank you for being here as a colleague in the space with the same interests, but I also want to remind you that we have not only just the products to serve your customers, but we are also committed to being here. We're one of the only lenders that showed up. This is the first event, and we're here because we are like you and we believe in a future and a future way of doing things. So thank you for your time today, attention and consideration, and thank you for giving me this podium. So enjoy.
It's a great set of remarks there. So let's see. Yeah, there we've got our cover slide.
We do?
I just want to talk a little bit about how we landed on this keynote, which really wasn't the plan 2 months ago. But I started thinking we really want to feature some of the trailblazing builders, and we did that in our first panel in the executive forum and throughout the event. But I've gotten to know Ken a lot better over the last 2-3 years. Know him from our Tech Home Builder events and Shea as a home technology leader. And actually, again, another cover story of Tech Home Builder 20 years ago was Rob Pigg at Shea Homes was on the cover of one of the Tech Home Builder magazines in 2001. And, I've gotten to know Ken on the home tech side of things, and I learned more and more about what he and his team were doing from a sales and marketing perspective with digital technologies. And then as we talked about digital transformation more broadly into design and production matters and customer care, I realized that there's a lot going on at Shea there, and Ken knows about all of it, and he's involved in all of it. So, I think if we wanted to do a housing transformation builder of the year, we didn't do a formal process, but it really is Shea and this man on point. And so, and I think the extraordinary thing is how willing he is to share all of these investments and all of this thinking that went into a lot of transformations within Shea Homes. And this is going to be a little bit of a different keynote because I've never had a keynoter do so much work on a presentation and work with his team to collect information, and a lot of it's going to be videographically presented so that you can see kind of behind the scenes on it. So, and Ken's going to really kind of carry the ball on this keynote presentation, and I'm going to, because I'm out of gas, and I'm just going to, I'll do color commentary, you're going to do play-by-play, but hopefully we can give folks some good insights on the extraordinary stuff that's being done at Shea Homes. With that, I'm passing the clicker to you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the kind words, but it's not only me. We have tons of transformational champions, both at a corporate division levels all across the country. So proud to be here, and John, you have done amazing things for the industry. A lot of the things we're going to show you today, we put video clips together. It's hard to talk about some of these things. It's easier to watch a video. Matt's in the crowd that put these videos together, so thank you, Matt. I have a thank you slide for all the vendors across the country that has really molded the company we are today through the last 20 years. So with that said, Larry Webb, when he was up here, he really talked about, starts with the people. And so I have a video that will start this whole thing off about, because you can dream all you want, but you cannot execute unless you build, transformational teams. And so with that, Jeffrey, can you roll the video? Today at the Housing Transformation Summit, we are talking about new ways of thinking and implementing change in your organization. Our goal during this presentation is to shed some light on how the Shea Homes Arizona division built a culture of continuous improvement and partnered with leading revolutionary companies to drive transformation. It all starts with having a high-trust culture and a high-performance team, then identifying individuals who can be your transformation champions. At the start, it takes a new way of thinking. LSA Global created a simple approach that we adopted to select our transformation champions. They are individuals with, your transformation champions must be convinced that the change can make a difference and have a positive impact with your customers and your organization. Changing entrenched processes, systems, and behaviors can be difficult. Your transformation champions must have the courage and consideration to make important but difficult decisions. They must clearly and persuasively articulate why the change is necessary, not just for the company's sake, but for the well-being of all stakeholders, including your customer. The implementation of change is difficult. Team members will want to resort back to old ways, but your transformation champions and leadership must continually promote the new benefits. Few debate the importance of customer engagement, but companies still have trouble transforming their organizations to capture all the advantages of an excellent buyer experience. While approaches may vary, the most successful companies seek solutions to reduce friction in the process. We embrace the McKinsey & Company model. Let's take a quick look to understand this philosophy. OKRs, KPIs, or company goals have to be crystal clear to create team aspiration and instill purpose in your organization. Critical in driving results are creating or redesigning customer-centric experiences, along with adopting a proven design, discover, deliver approach. It's imperative to establish transformation champions in your organization and partner with revolutionary companies to drive change via mindsets, behaviors, technology, processes, and performance management. By adopting these principles and practices in your organization, you will start witnessing a fundamental change towards a different customer experience and generate significant results. Let's take a moment and talk about the customer, since we know they are vital to the success of your company. But customers are continuing to evolve in the shopping and buying process. For the last 20 years, we've been discussing and defining this thing called the buyer journey. In the early 2000s, this was the model of how we thought our customers journeyed through our buying process. Today, the process is radically different, and we've transitioned to a new term called the buyer experience, which is nonlinear, chaotic path to purchase, and doesn't follow any specific route. Our home shoppers are savvy. They know how to navigate the internet to find their answers. It's imperative we offer content and solutions for their questions. Let's take a look at our Shea Homes multi-channel approach. This is the awareness stage where a potential customer starts thinking about buying a home. They become aware that their current house may no longer fit their needs. Our strategy here is about sharing alternative home solutions. We want to deliver online content that helps them dream about new home ownership. They have now included us in their home search, but they still have many questions and want to educate themselves about the process. At this point, we want to provide them easy access to more detailed content, our virtual teams, virtual tours, and model homes. Our goal is to be their trusted source of information and slowly develop a relationship with them. This is a critical step in the process of engagement and relationship building. In many cases, it could be the very first time we meet the customer face-to-face. At Shea Homes, we created an arsenal of tools to assist the customer with making an informed decision about us as their builder, the neighborhood, the community, home livability, structural and interior options, the home site, and so on. Now, while the excitement of buying a home is cause for celebration, there's still plenty left to accomplish. The next part of this process can be painful. We haven't invested an enormous amount of time in seeking better solutions for options and interior selections, financing, expectation setting, and the actual building of the home. While the buyer experience will continue on, I'll stop at this point and share the solutions we have implemented to drive customer engagement while reducing friction from the process. Over the last 2 years, we've deployed our visual option catalog, a curated design studio experience, Surfaces, our customer-facing design studio selection application, Rumored, a virtual design platform, AlphaVision's immersive VR tours, AlphaVision's VR frame walks, AlphaVision's virtual digital sales assistant, UTour, self-guided model tours supported with Alexa, iDevice, QR codes, and Linktree, and the newly launched Shea Homes option selection tool. John and I will be discussing a few of these in detail today, so let's get started.
Let's get started, John.
Well, I think what's funny is, how we, are pushing ideas about things and systems and such. And with the concluding remarks from Larry and Keith on the executive forum, and here with your kickoff remarks, it's the people and not so much the technology that are the critical starting point. And you talked about a lot of emotional or motivational characteristics that you're looking for from the people, communications and persuasion skills, the ability to stick through. How do you develop that team? I think is how long does it take to develop a team like that and get the cohesion?
Yeah, well, I think it starts from the interviewing process, identifying like-minded people, and really that. Yeah, I think Larry talked about it. That have that passion, that fire within. Here we are up here in the Arizona division. I'm grooming the millennials and the Gen X's to take my role because we're the 50-somethings up here. Because I started in my 20-something, and it's an evolution. And I think when you find those individuals, that passion. The other thing is allowing people to fail. Any builder in here probably deployed a whole bunch of technology, spent a whole bunch of money on it, and threw it all away. So I think it's that balance between, finding that fire within and then, providing a fertile ground for people to develop and deploy and have passion.
Yeah.
And if they fail, move on to the next thing.
One of the scary things I heard in that opening segment was we don't have a linear buying process anymore. It's chaotic. So how do we think through chaos, right? Because we're normally very rational people and we want it to make sense step by step, but we've got either from the information ecosystem that's out there or the way people are changing, now we have a much less predictable set of factors to deal with to take people from I don't know who you are to yes. So I mean, that's a challenge, and that certainly required some rethinking on the marketing side, right?
Well, it does, because most builders, they sell to all demographics, and so it's not a one-size-fits-all anymore. And so we have all of our traditional marketing paths that we follow, but then you have to augment that with consumers and how they deal mostly with retailers. And there's nobody in this room that says they haven't been conditioned by COVID. We launched QR codes 10 years ago. They failed. QR codes today are the only way you can order a food at a restaurant or obtain information. And so I think it's really that multi-channel approach where we have to be looking at every single aspect. That's why I was excited the last session in the builder solution and listen to what Chris is doing with some of the communications with the customers through Atlas. And it's all those different things combined, and it takes a different workforce to be able to manage those things.
And can we afford to do all those different things? And
Can we afford not to? I mean, I think that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
So we learned today from Tim that we're leaving way too much money on the table, so all of this technology is really cheap if we can get a 500% increase
okay.
in our homes.
Well, do you want to dig in on some of
Yeah,
the
let's
specific
do it.
tool sets and do
I think this is
do show and
a
tell?
fun quote. Everybody can take a minute and read that. It's something I think it has to be near and dear to everybody's heart. To really focus about really intentionally creating who you are as a builder, the product that you deliver, and the experience to the customer. And these are the slides I added, but we talked about all those, John.
All right.
We can go on. So
Yeah.
let's roll the next. I'll key up this just a little bit. I keep using Larry as an example because a few things that he said really resonated with me. Home building predominantly is a bunch of silos, right? And that's not every builder out there, but you have departmental silos, whether it's your operations group or your MPO or your purchasing group, could be your corporate group, your sales and marketing group, land. And the big thing that we did in order to advance significant technology, and what I'm showing today is all deployed. This is not any like pie in the sky, hey, we should do this. This is deployed at all our communities in the Arizona division. But the biggest thing is breaking down those barriers. It's looking at the process, which is very linear in the construction, from land development to building your models and building the community, but fast forwarding all of that. And so this is how we look at designing our homes radically different. So if we could roll this video, that'd be awesome.
So what are we seeing here, Ken?
So this is a VR of a community called the Phoenician. And so we start with engineering plans, landscaping plans, amenity buildings, and we build that virtually. Matt was out there last week and shot this raw footage. So it's interesting when we talk about selling the dream to a customer. The actual dream of a construction site is not that pretty. Our homes under construction are not that pretty.
There are no porta potties.
No, we removed
Very
those.
problematic.
Or garbage dumpsters or, trash in the street. So, this process really starts with, we have an in-house architectural team that we design in Autodesk Rivet. Take those files and transition them into different assets. So this will kind of walk you through how we take a look at designing homes.
So Rivet is where we get the structural options happening.
Correct.
Talk a little bit more about that if we...
So this is how we transitioned from, Autodesk. This is Twin Motion, an application that we write on top of Rivet, and then this is Alpha Vision's full 3D interior tours. And so we're constantly building from the time we're looking at 2D line drawings all the way up to visualizing the home. And so this, technology really wasn't available or wasn't that affordable years ago. But the biggest thing is we do not do frame walks. We do virtual frame walks. So we don't wait to frame a home to walk in and make changes. We make all the changes virtually and saves us a ton of time. And this is just another example of our community up at Emblem Talon.
So you have the ability to customize or personalize on the structural options side of things. that feeds a pretty automated construction process, right? You got CNC controlled panelization that you're, reconfiguring these homes almost on a custom basis per the digital orders. And talk to me about, we had a conversation about real CAD, right? Like, so I have some experience from many years ago in the factory automation industry, and I remember learning that CAD wasn't just about drawing, but it was about reaching out into the supply chain and understanding what pieces and parts were available to design a product at a specific price to meet a certain market window. And it was available in discrete product manufacturing 30, 40 years ago. Some folks did it better or worse, but we'd never really quite gotten there in home building because of the disparate kind of supply chains. But you guys are making progress on that, right?
We have made progress. So Autodesk is technically a 2D AutoCAD program. Revit is 3D. So you're designing, the guys are drawing the homes technically in 3D, and so it's mapping all of the surfaces. And so we get instant takeoffs. We know square footage of stucco or drywall inside of a home, flooring surfaces, wall surfaces for wall tile backsplashes. And so all the way up from the beginning of the design stage, all the way through viewing those homes through Twin Motion and then delivering those assets to AlphaVision way in advance of model construction. Then AlphaVision sends back the assets. We virtually walk the homes, and many times we walk it with our trade partners. We're looking at, can we make enhancements to value engineer the product? Is the lighting correct? We don't want to change window sizes in the field. And so it's really focused on really building that complete home. Ultimately, about 60% of our homes are panelized. They're not modular constructed, maybe sometime in the future, but panelized. And so we send those files to our framing companies. They build all the wall panels on site and then deliver those in sections to the home site.
And you're reaching into your supply chains and putting holds on products, on specific finishes and such, based on the order entry that's being taken through your digital design centers, yeah?
Correct, two different things. So we use Build Pro on the home construction side, and then we use Surfaces. Anybody touring the design studio tonight will watch a video on that process, but we utilize the AlphaVision interactive floor plan. We import that into Surfaces, which is a Shea proprietary application. From there, we go right to E1 and sending those orders to the vendors to supply the materials, and then all of that is framed around Rumored, which provides the customer with 3D real-time view of their home with all those surfaces.
It was funny when I went up to Mark's office and I was talking about all the behind-the-scenes work, and I got to see some of it to just create these beautiful renderings and the 3D stuff, and I'm sure they were working on your communities, but to hear that tool set that we think of as a sales and marketing tool set is integrated into the design and production side of things in such a thorough way it's another behind the scenes story, right? There's more to it than the surface.
There's way more to it. The homes that we build across the valley, we use multiple trades. We probably started 5 years ago looking at terminus points of every material inside of the home. That one trade may build a shower a certain way at one community, another trade may build it differently, and so we got all the trades together and we said, hey, we really have to take a look at installation methodology, discuss and design the best way to do that. Now, you have to do that in advance. Then when you bring on a Rumored application, then it all works because you did all the pre-work. And so that's why I really started out with the team members, because it takes a different mindset and new ways of thinking to navigate through that process. But we have like 15 more videos, so we should
Let's go.
Probably keep going. So let's go ahead and roll the next one. So this is U-Tour.
U-Tour allows guests to schedule a self-guided tour appointment of their desired Shea Homes models outside of normal business hours. We realize many guests may have busy schedules and it can be difficult to find time to tour a home within typical business hours. U-Tour eliminates that problem. It takes just minutes for the users to set up an account and schedule their tours. It seems that contactless viewing may be around long term, and U-Tour provides a wonderful solution. The convenient and informal concept of offering self-guided model tours is just another tool that utilizes the latest technology to assist prospective homebuyers in achieving the full, hands-on experience during their search. The setup is simple. Users can either scan our QR code located on the signs at the community or visit the community on sheahomes.com to gain access to the registration portal. To begin, users will start on the Shea Homes U-Tour page and select one of the 2 communities at Alora Vita. From there, they'll see the model options to choose from. Guests can elect to schedule one or schedule them all. Once registered and verified, they'll select the day and the time that fits their schedules. Guests will be sent a confirmation with the entry code, address, and other vital information to have handy when they arrive for their appointment. When it comes time to tour, guests will gain access to the models through the gate at the sidewalk. The model homes are all equipped with quick-set smart door locks, which will allow access once the unique code is entered. Once inside, the time is theirs. Guests can explore the home at their leisure and take advantage of many Shea Connect features such as Alexa, iDevice, and iDevice Instinct smart switches. Located on the kitchen counter is an Alexa Echo Show device. Guests can interact by asking specific questions about the home or community. For convenience, we have provided a series of questions which may be of importance to our guests. They can simply say, "Alexa, ask the builder," and Alexa will prompt for a question to be asked. Let's give it a try. Alexa, ask the builder.
Welcome to U-Tour Voice. What can I help you with?
Can I customize my home?
Shea Homes has a wide array of optional features and color selections allowing you to personalize your new home.
What is the square footage of this home?
This 5014 model is shown at roughly 2,770 square feet of living space.
In an effort to continue our mission of going paperless, we recently implemented a community information QR code tool. Using QR codes in conjunction with Linktree allows customers to instantly access a robust menu of important information, such as the community website, plan and elevation pricing, community map, included features, details about Shea Mortgage, and Shea Connect, as well as the opportunity for prospective buyers to learn about U-Tour. One of the benefits of using QR codes paired with Linktree at our communities and in our model homes is that they allow for quick delivery of content served to the customer. In turn, our team can view analytical data and monitor the performance of each menu item. Using the reporting tools, we can modify content instantly and keep the information updated and relevant.
Good stuff.
Another way to drive customer experience. It's shocking to me, but we've had over 2,000 customers tour our models by themselves, right? And so we're constantly saying, as a marketer and in sales, how do we engage that customer? We're not there. And so we're constantly looking at ways to enhance that overall experience for the customer because it's gaining popularity. And we realize that people view multiple times before they ultimately make a decision to purchase. The greatest thing, I think, is that we know who the customer is before they ever get there. So many times, if you're leading a sales team, did they fill out that guest registration card? Maybe, maybe not. Is it accurate information? And here we know the customers before they're even visiting the community, who they are, and can provide the team instant access to follow up. So, the big thing starting 2022, all of our communities are going to be 100% paperless. So we spend, $80,000, $90,000 a year on printed paper, whether it's floor plans, whatever. We're upgrading the printers in the sales office. So if you have a traditional buyer and they want paper, we can give them paper. But we know that over 95% of our customers don't want paper, especially for this next video.
Hey, Ken, just on those data analytics, is that your team that's analyzing
That's
those?
the
or-
Arizona division.
Yeah.
That's all the shells that we print for every floor plan. Then when you make a change, you reprint, throw all those away. So
And do we get to like dashboards that are real-time viewable on the analytics there? And you're making a lot of changes. There's dynamism associated with it when you get them?
absolutely.
Good.
So the other thing that we've had the digital sales assistant. It was so funny to see Mark's slide. I can't remember the year, 1999, where we created this with Mike Moore, I think on a napkin. And we were just talking about the process and these antiquated sales offices, not all antiquated. I shouldn't say that because some builders still use that, so I apologize. So in my mind, antiquated sales offices that have floor plans on the wall or big topo tables and all those different things. I mean, that's how I spent my entire career in a garage. And so we were like, hey, we can do it differently. We can create this digital asset. And so we did that. And then in 2020, we converted this to technically a virtual sales assistant. So if you can play this video, kind of walk you through. So basically, this was built for a touchscreen device that we have in the sales office. You can roll the video, Jeff.
I don't know whether we're getting to it in another video, but I love this feature of seeing the home, being inside the home and playing around with options, and but also being able to be there at certain times of year and certain times of day. I mean, because it's another way to, it's actually better than physical, right? Because you come a couple times physical, you may not come at night, you may come in the dead of winter and not under, you guys have one weather here, but in other places they have other weather and other angles of the sun and such. So it's that I think is really cool. And I don't know whether you're covering it elsewhere.
So, I'm not, but I can talk about it real quickly. So we built a community in Paradise Valley called Azure. Average price of the home, let's just call it, $3.2 million. So 66 home sites nestled next to the Ritz-Carlton master plan community and the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and then Ritz-Carlton Residential. Some of our home site premiums eclipse, 400,000. And so we said, hey, we had to figure out a way to build this home, or build this community differently. And so we built the entire community virtually. We flew drone footage around the community at 20 feet off the ground, 60, 80, and 120. We packaged that up, sent it to AlphaVision, and they created this virtual community. You see that at the Phoenician. which I think is the next video, which we use, real photography with virtual photography, which has been around for a long time. This is nothing earth-shattering. What's earth-shattering is at Azure, where we started this first technology and realized the importance and rolled it out to all of our communities. When you come in and you pick a residence 3 and you want it on that home site, and you say, hey, I'm only going to be here from September till April, we can go in the calendar and we can put the home on the home site. You see the actual views from the first floor to the second floor of the home. You can see the sun set and rise. We can speed it up so you can spend, I don't know, the entire winter here in about 4 minutes. But it's really critical if people are going, hey, if I buy a home in Arizona, I don't want a west backyard. Well, if you're only here in the winter, maybe you do want a west backyard to see magnificent sunsets. So that's the technology that we really adopted at Azure, and then, have rolled that out to all of our different communities. And I think this next video will walk a little bit more into that. So if you guys want to play the next video. We sold this entire community, average price $2.2 million, and with 5 to go, so we're excited about that. And that was the first video that we showed, the difference between, showing the actual streetscape with all the construction activity and J. Johns and garbage dumpsters and, trusses in the middle of the street. This is the newest feature that we launched. This is real-time interactive VRs. And so AlphaVision created, gourmet kitchen options, stair railing options, as you saw. And so we have 2 more communities that we launched. We opened 5 communities this month, all of them virtually with info sessions, all with 3D communities, floor plans, and it's pretty exciting. So the big thing is when you take a look at ROI, 2 of those communities will never have models that we opened, and we'll sell them 100% virtually. So there is a definite, we talked about this like 20 years ago, right? Can you ever get to a point where you don't build models? Well, we're trying to prove that in both expensive communities and, first move up communities across the valley.
I don't know what to ask.
Are
but I think it's,
are you just
I think it's pretty
speechless?
damn impressive. It really is. I mean, to reduce or eliminate models and sell communities 100%, high price points with high options take rates, et cetera. I mean, you're doing something right.
It's working. It's the transformational team that, is driving change, throughout the organization, which is, fantastic. We'll just keep this moving, John, because you're in between.
Well, should we got 20 minutes? Should I?
Well, no, I have 4 more videos.
Okay.
I don't. No, let me show this next video because this is really a beta test that we did in the Arizona division. So like most builders, we're trying to sell options online. And we utilize a myriad of applications and you test that with the customer. And that's the biggest thing is, you can dream something in your head. Number one, the customer has to use it, right? So technology that doesn't have any use is worthless. And so we have a few communities, we'll have 5 by the end of summer of next year, that we wanted a different approach. And so we're the small privately held builder, fighting a battle with the biggest giants in the country that have great processes and systems, and they have huge construction machines, and they demand, a large portion of the labor force and supply chain materials. And so, we're trying to go toe to toe with them. And so what we really try to do is not go into the world of packages, and we really try to personalize homes at all of our price points. So we technically don't build entry level, but the price points would compete with the entry level product. And so we said, hey, we can find a different way to provide self-service. And so some of the things that we're launching and will be launching is really about putting the entire control on the customer. And so when we started this process, looking at the video that I'm going to show, we said, hey, we can sell options online. Well, yeah, you can sell options online, but when you're building a home, you want people to make a decision for the first time and stick with it. And so we built on-site design studios. We have one out at Acclaim at Alomar, where people can go through with the rumored application. They can visualize their entire kitchen, primary bath, or secondary baths. They can look at the products that are out there available to them, and they can change these materials. Coupled with that is the next video. It's how we assist that buyer with selecting their options. And again, we have staff there to support them in their process if they need to, or they can do it all on their own. So this is really a self-service option selection tool. It's on a kiosk, but it's built for the website. We'll stay on a kiosk for a while before we venture onto the World Wide Web.
Before we proceed, let's take a moment to introduce the home screen. Log out. The buyer can end their session and resume at a later date. Any items in their wish list and cart are saved. My account. This section allows them to edit their profile and password. Name and quick view home details. A quick reference for buyers to confirm their community, plan, and elevation. Wish list. Anytime during a shopping experience, they can click the heart to add an item to their wish list and can later move them to their cart. My home cart. This shows an extended view of your selections. My cart. Pinned to the right side throughout the buyer's selection process is a quick reference that shows selected or declined options. To simplify the process, the buyer can choose to use either the category menu or the visual tiles below. As you progress through the selection wizard, those categories will change color to show progress. Now let's go back and hit begin. John is now directed to the appliance category, where he will begin with the kitchen package. By selecting the gourmet kitchen layout, he will now see the option added to his cart. Now that John has selected gourmet kitchen layout, he can view individual appliances for additional details and available upgrades. By selecting the Deluxe GE Profile 30-inch smart built-in convection self-cleaning single-wall oven appliance, he can view high-resolution product imagery and select the electric or gas cooktop configuration. As John selects the gas cooktop, the system automatically selects the required gas rough-in option. Once he is satisfied with his selections, he can click Add to My Order, which adds the entire Kitchen Deluxe Appliances package to his cart. Now that the kitchen package section is complete, the appliance category pops up where John can either choose a refrigerator or washer and dryer. Let's select the refrigerator. John can quickly toggle between the Designer and Deluxe at the top menu, or simply click between the two offered refrigerators. The high-resolution imagery on the left provides John with additional views of the selected appliance. Images can be enlarged by tapping the magnifying glass icon. In this case, he declines this option. Let's take a look at what happens if he tries to advance to the next category without making a decision about the washer and dryer. John is notified that he needs to complete the entire appliance section before proceeding. He declines the washer and dryer. Now that John has completed the entire appliances category, indicated by the color change to green, he will then be redirected to the next category. Any incomplete categories will turn yellow. For this video demonstration, we will jump to the kitchen cabinets category. Because John previously selected the gourmet kitchen layout, he will only be shown cabinet pricing for that option. Now that John selects Artesia door style, he can then make his door finish selection. Using the image carousel, John can further inspect the offered stain finishes. When he is satisfied, he can choose the finish below using the radio button. Some options have additional upgrades associated with them. In that instance, we provide this accessories menu, which allows the buyer the ability to select related upgrades. Options may also have videos that can be embedded in the portal to further illustrate their functionalities. Now that everything is finalized, John submits his home cart. He will see a pop-up asking him to review and verify his selections before he proceeds. Changes will not be allowed after submission. The system prompts for an electronic signature and an I agree button. Upon agreement, he will receive an electronic receipt via email indicating all selection options.
That was pretty fast, John. You picked all your options.
I did. I think it was John Shea that picked them.
Probably.
Yes. So, in your virtual buying process,
Correct.
this is coming in after an initial transaction, or is it part of the transaction?
Yeah, so it's part. Maybe I'm just on an island out there and look at it a little bit differently. I feel like giving too much information to the buyer well in advance. I mean, people go to new home communities predominantly to disqualify you, right? I mean, that's what they do. And so we court them for however long a period of time in a non-COVID environment, ultimately to get them to the sales center or to an online information session where you're allowing them the opportunity to dream. Because at one point, like in our new buyer's journey or buyer's experience, you know, the buyer's going through an awareness. I don't like where I'm living, I want something different. And so all of these things that we're doing, we're trying to engage the buyer and say, hey, there's a different solution besides a used home, right? And so we've talked about that earlier today. And so all these tools are really to get them to that point to make a decision to buy.
Right.
Some of the other tools you'll see in the design studio, the rumored application or surfaces or this is the post contract. Because the process hasn't stopped with that customer.
Right.
They made the ultimate decision to purchase a home in that community for that plan, that elevation. We really don't want to overwhelm them and say, hey, now's the time to pick everything. We'll start your home in 60 days and we'll deliver it, you know, to you by January of next year.
Right.
And so it's really that engagement, and we heard that from the other panel, like how do you keep that customer motivated and excited through the process? And so these tools, or this tool in particular, would be post-contract.
Yeah, and is it assisted walkthrough on that stuff, or is it mostly self-serve? I mean, I know you have the option for somebody to do it themselves, but do you find your designers are Zooming with folks and helping out, or what?
So these communities, they do not go to our design studio. So we'll deliver about 170 of this particular products. 2 product lines are Claim and Vision series. So we'll have about 170 deliveries or 170 sales next year, which is not supported by our design studio. Our ASP in this market has jumped quite a bit. And so we invest more time with those customers that are at significantly higher price points.
Yeah.
And when you listen to this customer, you know, they typically have a budget. And so we're trying to provide options for them to personalize their home upgrade in those sparkle areas that they feel are important. And again, they can do it. We have a digital lock. You can go in there before we're open, after we're open.
So
on
this
days
is
that we're closed.
kiosk-based, so it's in the sales center.
We built a little 2-car garage design studio that has all the products. So when you're looking at the cabinet, you can grab a cabinet. I should have brought pictures. It's not all put together, but we created a real fun design studio for the customers. We put a social media cabinet that's all backlit so people can put their displays on it. Definitely has our name on it, but they can take pictures and share them on social media. Hey, these are the selections that we pick. So whether it's countertop, backsplash, carpet, wood flooring, wall tile, whatever, it's all there for them to see physically and see it virtually.
Okay, good. And we're going to look at the web-based version of this, or
It's either
kiosk-based. It's either way.
it's built in the cloud, so
Gotcha.
it can operate anywhere.
Good.
So
What's next?
that's all I have. I put a little thank you video. I'd like for Meredith and Justin and Matt to stand up. Everybody can give them a round of applause. You're supposed to stand up. Some of our transformational champions at Shea Homes. And maybe we have some questions, and then I'll have a little thank you video. And
Okay, Chris, how about you? Come on.
Okay, Ken.
No, I'm not going to dance.
I already have that on video, so we're good. Tell me what your budget is per year to try new products and tools.
Yes, that's an outstanding question. The way I look at it is, we all put together our SG&A forecasts, for however many years you go out. And, in the sales and marketing side, we have allocated dollars. And so what we're constantly looking at is, hey, could I build one less model? Could I build 2 less models or no models? And if every builder looked at, hey, that investment in that physical asset, and they shifted those dollars into a virtual asset, we would advance our industry much faster. But it is transformational thinking, right? You have to say there's a risk if you offer 5 different plans and you say, hey, we can do this with one model. Now we're only doing it with one model because we have a touchscreen computer on one side of the sales office that houses our DSA, so we can tour the community for physical guests. And then on the other side, we have the full VR computers, so we can demonstrate, and we do every home. It's not just that we do the non-model plans. We do every home in VR. We're a series builder in this market, so we can reuse those assets, when we deploy that product at other communities. So, to me, it's a small price to pay when you take a look at the failures we've had on interior design decor of a model home. It's easier to change it virtually. But great question. It's not incremental dollars. It's reallocating currently forecasted dollars.
You seem like you're on a journey to mostly digital on the sales and the sales process, right? I mean, it seems like there's a gradual winnowing of the in-person piece. It's got its place, but digital's going to become more dominant, is what it seems like.
Yeah, I think it's 2 things. Number one, we have a great platform, and I think across the country, Shea Homes does a great job about the customer experience in person, right? And we have lots of years of experience, like many builders in the room. We don't have a lot of experience with virtual, right? It's new. We were forced, our hand was forced a little bit with COVID, but we were going in that direction way before COVID. So that's first. Secondly, you hear this big buzz about selling homes online. That's soup to nuts, like I can go pick a home. We're just taking small pieces of that and saying, let's test this, let's get that consumer experience, because it's really about the UI and UX with the customer. And we're trying to drive it in a way that we're always there to assist the customer. That's kind of in our DNA. But if somebody wants to do a self-guided tour or self-option select or self-design studio select, why not provide them that opportunity? Because I think we're going to be there sooner than later at one point. Millennials now are approaching 40 years of age in 22. And Gen X's, as we heard today, are rushing right behind them. And now we have millennials in their prime buying stages, right? That 35 to 40, they want to start families. They thought, hey, it'd be really cool to grow or to raise my kids in an urban environment. Maybe not so much. We want a dog. And so we're really trying to attract that customer.
One of the things that I love about the technology industry is we're always providing more value. Just look at the computing power you get for the dollars you pay now. High definition television 15 years ago was $30,000. It's $150 now. And are we seeing those sorts of economies of scale for this set of technology tools that you're utilizing? Are we starting to see the cost structure come down and make it even more advantageous to deploy these tool sets?
Yeah, Mark and I were talking about that. Our first VR, I don't know, I'm terrible with time, probably 12, 14 years ago, right? I think we gave them a fortune, like $180,000 to create a 4-minute VR. Today, it's at a fraction of that. And you mentioned it earlier, why are we so willing to share? The more of us that go on a different journey, the cost comes down, and so you have some, and I really want to do the thank you video because there's so many, partners in the room that have really, driven, the advancements in our organizations, but, it's all of you. It's you hosting these conferences. We're learning about what's going on. We're all, talking about how we advance and enhance the customer's experience with us. The cost comes down. It does. There's more competition in the space.
Yeah. I think the other thing I find in technology industry is there's this cognitive dissonance, right? Like somebody goes shopping for something 10 years ago. It's like, oh, it's all way too expensive. And they don't realize the cost curve that's been traveled and how inexpensive. I've been trying to convince Barry Hensley out here, like some of these custom luxury builders, that they've got to start adopting some of these tool sets because that's the premium experience for previewing products and options. It's not swatches out in a conference room somewhere. So, but there's hesitance because when these tools first came out 15, 20 years ago, they were outside of the reach of a small or medium-sized builder, which is very much not the case anymore. I'm sure there's things that are too expensive, but there's a lot of very powerful tool sets that are becoming affordably priced. And like you say, the more we do it, the less expensive it will become.
Well, it's taking the risk. Whoever's going to the design studio, you're gonna walk in there, and it's different, right? We don't show any product. We're not there to sell product to a customer. We're there to personalize their home, and so we took a very bold journey to say we want a more curated experience. All of you that do your model homes, I don't think any one of you go to a design studio. We don't. We talk about who's our buyer demographics, what's the color palettes, what's the interior style that we're looking for. Those decorators go get all that information, they bring it to us, and we make, insightful and informed decisions on how to decorate our model homes, and that's all the finishes and the furnishings. We said we can do that with customers. We can look at it different, and you'll see that today. Customers aren't met with a sea of carpet. I took over the design studio, I don't know how many years ago it was with operations. That's why I was laughing. The first thing I'm like, oh yeah, we were there. When she was talking about it. But when you walked up to a display, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. If it works for you, great. We just wanted to do something different. But when you walk up to 250 carpet samples, and the question is, what do most people get? They get between level 3 and 5. This is the price point for your home. 85% of our sales were between 3 and 5. We shifted that because we don't have levels anymore. We have people select products that they enjoy, that they want for whatever their lifestyle is in their home, and then we match that through the process. So, anyways, it's just different, and I've just had more wins than failures. So I've been at Shea Homes 28 years, I think. I wouldn't be up here if we had more failures than wins.
Well, thank you. We got to wrap up. We got a minute.
1 minute. This is a 1 minute
play
video.
your 1 minute video?
Jeff, can you roll that, please?
Thank you, Ken. That's incredible, generous sharing, and I hope it's a spirit that cuts across the entire room. But thanks to Ken and his team and all of his partners, too. And thanks to FBC Mortgage.